Yo, what's up guys? This is Theo here, and in this video I'm going to explain to you guys basically how to use web workers. Web workers are a browser API, basically just a sort of native object to the browser that allows us to spin up a separate thread when we're doing any sort of intensive operation and we don't want that to interact with the main thread. So I built this directory here called web worker ping example. So I'm going to change directory into there. Web worker, web worker ping example. And let me change directory into there again. Web worker ping example. Okay, so we're in there now, and we open it up with Sublime Text. So I set up this basic server. So now if I run nodemon server.js, should load, there we go, listening on 3000, there we go, web worker ping, and that's the text that we have in there. And let me get rid of this real quick. My bad, let me get rid of this, delete file. Okay, cool. So that's what we have in our index, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a script here, and what we can do is we can say if window.worker, console.log, workers are available. So this is just some sort of feature detection. And let me run this again. Sorry, localhost 3000. And let's go back. Cool, so workers are available. Awesome. So the way that we can instantiate this, guys, is we can create a worker here. So we can say var worker. And inside of here, we can say worker is equal to a new worker. And this is the API for it. New worker. And then we want to give it the name of the script. So it's worker.js. And down here, we can just console log actually what the worker is, what this API consists of. So here we go. We're going to refresh. And so worker is basically just a constructor. It's a type, and it has two event listeners on error and on message. And its prototype, on its prototype, it has this post message and has terminate, which is going to, sort of close down the worker and close down that thread. So we're going to build a basic counter to do some work in the background. So the way we can do this is we can do worker.post message, and we'll say do some work. And we can latch onto this in our worker.js file by saying self, which defines the worker, and this is just like a window object. And this is going to listen for a message, and it's going to receive an event. And so here we're just going to log out the event, and we're going to log out the event.data. So let me refresh this. Here we go. Workers are available, and it's do some work. That's the event.data right there. So what we can do here, it's almost like sockets in a way. So we can say if event.data, we can say is equal to do some work, console.log, worker is about to do some work. Okay, so let's refresh this. Here we go. Worker is about to do some work. And let's do some work. So we'll say var count is equal to 0, and then we can just sum it up. So we can say for var I equals 0, I is less than 1,000, I plus plus, and we can do count plus or equal to I. So we're going to do this aggregate, almost like a reduce. And then at the very end, we can say self dot post message, and here we're going to say message is equal to count. So we're returning the count as this object. Okay, cool. And then what we can do back here is we can say worker dot add event listener message, right? Function event. We're going to log out the event, and we're going to log out the event.data that's coming back from the worker. So let's refresh this. Here we go. And so now we've got a message back from the worker right there, and worker.add event listener, and we've got this, right? We've got this aggregate, the sum, and its message is that, obviously. So if we say event.data.message, we should just get this sum. Awesome. And what we can do right here is we can say document.body.inner HTML equals event.data.message. And so what I can do actually in my body is I can create this h1 called waiting for data. So now waiting for data, it'll go away as soon as we get that response back from the worker. But if I make this a little bit bigger of a number, we should be able to see it for a little bit, right? And if we keep expanding this, we're going to see it, right, just for a little bit. And obviously the bigger the number gets up, we'll see it for quite a bit of time, right? So it's doing that operation, but not on the main thread, and eventually it's going to go away. And at the very end of this, what we can do is we can say, we can console.log worker.terminate, which means we're going to terminate the worker. Worker's about to do some work. Okay, undefined. It doesn't return anything, that's why it says undefined. But if we call worker.terminate, awesome, right? And then if we call worker.postMessage and do some more work, then we should see, I'm assuming, yeah, I'm not super familiar with this, worker's about to do some work, message, it's not going to do more work, right, because we've terminated this worker. But if we come back in here, we do this, worker is about to do some work, and right, then, you know, worker is doing some more work, right? So we've ended this right here, so you're gonna have to create a new worker. So that's just good practice clearing that thread. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a great day.